What's up guys, Mike the Cop. A lot of people have been asking me about my Gladius holster and what is this little extension piece out here? Very clearly it's to hold on to so that I can throw this thing like a ninja star, striking my opponent with the tip of the holster. Just the tip, I promise.
Because let's face it, you never know when you're going to be attacked.
What are you doing?
It was more than just the tip.
I got you. Yeah, I will defend my brothers. I will defend the weak. I will pursue and fight evil so others may sleep. I am the sheepdog, protecting the night. Wolf hunters unite. Bring it on. It's time to fight.
All right, let's get serious here. This video is going to address a couple of things. First is why I chose the backup gun that I currently carry and the process I've gone through in my career of where to carry it. Those are real things. So obviously this applies directly to law enforcement, but perhaps you can glean something from this in terms of practicality and thinking about where you may concealed carry and why. So I think there's some crossover here as well. Let's get into it. I carry the Glock 42 as my backup gun, and again, I'm gonna explain why I chose this. Now, there's a lot of morons in the last video that I did for my OCK 9X19 review. Of course, you can check that video out when you're done with this one. But I do know how to make a gun safe. So this one, for the rest of the video, we'll just keep it like this. And when you see it with the slide forward, then don't worry, it's still safe. Throughout my career in law enforcement, carrying a backup weapon for me was never an option. I always wanted to do so. At my first department, they permitted one of two guns. I had chosen a Smith & Wesson Airweight, a revolver, a hammerless revolver, and I carried it in a pocket holster in my off pocket. That was one of the places where it was allowed to be carried. That department had some pretty particular regulations about where backup weapons could be carried. But I don't want to get too far into that. The bottom line is that's what I started with. Now, I was laid off from my first job. I got another job at a new department in which I could choose what to carry. That department's primary weapon that was issued to me was a Glock 21. So if you're familiar, it's 45 caliber, and it's a larger pistol. So I had that. I tried to carry a 45 caliber subcompact, but the thing was just way too heavy. And some people say, well, I'd rather have the biggest caliber I can. Okay, yeah, great, good for you. I actually was running, I tried to carry it. I'm gonna explain the choices of where to carry it in a little bit, but I actually tried to carry it in a pocket holster in one of my cargo pockets designed for this, and the gun still popped out of the holster when running. It actually came out of the pocket when I was trying to hop a fence, and I had to go back over and get it before I continued on. So it was very blatantly in my face. This is not going to work. I needed another solution. So again, I went back to the drawing board and ultimately came up with the 42. This was before they had the 43, but this fit perfectly in a little simple cloth holster that I had in my off pocket. And I have used this thing reliably, even for the full test, the course of fire to qualify with a full-size, full-frame weapon. I can do that with this gun. I'm very comfortable with it, and I always just encourage people they say, what gun should I get? The one that you shoot the best with. You need to be comfortable with the weapon that you're choosing. So that's where I ended up. When the 43 came out, I did try it, but it still was just a little bit too big compared to the 42. So I went with the 42 and have stayed with it ever since it came out. I love this gun, not because it's a magical gun and makes me shoot, any better or something like that. I can't bend space and time with it or whatever. I do shoot well with it. I enjoy it, and it's very convenient to carry. Once I chose the gun, then it came down to where am I going to carry it? There was no limitations, like policy-wise, on where I could carry my backup gun on my person, so it was really up to me. Now I had the decision to make. Where am I going to start with this thing? A lot of people do ankle carry. I don't know about that. Then I started thinking, if I'm not gonna carry on the ankle, Let's go outside the box here, Mike. Where could I carry that no one's gonna expect me to be carrying my backup gun? But the problem became, what happens when you need to get to it real quick in an emergency? And then I was like, well, people are only gonna come at me from the front. They won't be expecting this in the back. All right, seriously, I ended up just literally having like an $11 holster that this fit perfectly into for a long time inside a cargo pocket. It had a zipper that I could keep open, and there was a tiny pocket inside there, and this just slid in perfect. And I could run, sit, climb, whatever, and it always stayed in place, and it was always in a position to where all I had to do was slide my left hand into the pocket and I could pull it out. The holster would stay in the pocket, gun would come out, no problems. One thing that you got to remember about a backup weapon is, yes, there's a situation where maybe your partner dropped a weapon or something and you can offer that to them if they need it, but in reality, the idea of having a backup weapon is because this hand, your dominant hand, or it could be your lefty if you're a weird person, dominant hand gets injured, that weapon is out of the question, so now I have to be able to get my backup weapon if need be with my off hand. There was really no holsters at that time on the market that I was aware of that really addressed the ability of positioning it off center. You already have a lot of people, you've got your prep, you've got a body cam, you have notepads, pens, you've got all this stuff on your chest, a taser sometimes. Some people have exterior vests and they still want to have a backup. So there's a lot of considerations, but I know I was more traditional. I'm gonna put the vest on here and say, you know what, hold on. Our vests, all the guys at work were having to like literally Frankenstein pieces of holsters together and tape and homemade Velcro jobs to somehow place that gun in a place that they felt comfortable with to be able to get when they needed it. I feel like Mr. Rogers right now. It's a beautiful day in your neighborhood. Because he used to put on the sweaters and stuff, take them off and have like outfit changes. All right, I'm gonna leave this open because some shirt manufacturers now have the zipper. I've got the more traditional buttons, but this is not my work shirt anyway. This is my Mike the Cop video shirt. In an emergency, I'm not gonna care about these buttons. I'm just gonna rip and grip. That's the plan. If I have to get in here, I'm not caring whether or not I have to go to the seamstress or get a new shirt if my life is on the line. But for practicality's sake, I'm just gonna leave this open. All these guys were trying to have these crazy rigs, and it never was formed in a way, these weapons, because you would have to cant them over here, and it just was always so awkward. There are solutions now being brought to the table by companies like Gladius, who provided this holster for me to start using, that are allowing vest carry under the shirt to actually become a more practical option. So I just want to take a quick look at the practicality of this and where I think holsters for under the vest or under the shirt are going. All right, obviously these are going to come for whatever caliber firearm you're carrying. I don't like big bulky firearms for the backup. I've already explained that, but so I have one for the 42 here. I was thinking, man, why isn't this canted? Why isn't the holster designed so that I can just reach in and grab this way? But the problem is the gun is going to be so close to your chest, you really can't get that grip, full grip on the gun, a convulsive grip on it to pull it out. So what they did with this holster was they made it to where it would go upright and mold to the body, the shape of the vest. It could go up higher under your arm. So once you tie it down to the vest, what happens is you can holster it vertically, and the holster is designed to rock the gun out. If you need to get to your weapon, you're not gonna care about the buttons, the zipper, whatever it is that you gotta do. Also, under stress, you lose fine motor skills. So the first thing about this is that it does, I can bring my elbows in completely natural. So it really has no impact. I really don't even realize the gun is here. It doesn't leave a noticeable print when I'm talking to people. So I like it so far. But when you're gonna get under stress, you're gonna lose fine motor skills, so this is important. I'm gonna tear the shirt open. I don't have to worry about getting a perfect grip on this gun. I just go to the gun and I can rock it right out of the holster. The holster is designed that the gun comes out when it is rocked. So yes, you can pull it straight out, but it can also rock out. And that's what makes this a functional holster for the vest. Now, my options have increased because I can get this type of holster for my vest, feel comfortable, feel confident that I have it with me, and I can wear the Class A pants without the cargo pockets that I had for so long. So sometimes departments have policy changes, uniform changes, all that stuff. And this literally out of the box can go right on any vest with Velcro. It's made for it. Carrying this on the vest at this point is a no-brainer, especially given the fact that I don't have an off pocket that I want to carry it in. I don't like carrying in my pants pocket. Why? Because if I'm seated in a car, getting to a gun that is, even if it's molded or pocket holstered very well, if you're seated in your patrol car and need to get to your backup weapon because you don't have a lot of room sometimes and can't get to your primary weapon in a moment of need, this is a great solution. You literally just, like I said, rip and grip, and you go right in. But I can't grip it because it was on the table. All right, so I guess that's a kind of a review video, and I don't know. I'm not as cool as Donut because he dressed up as a gimp for his review videos of a holster. I'm Mike the Cop. Good day.